join us, and so we have different people flying in at different times, and we're going to do seminars, 3 different seminars, one tonight, one tomorrow night, and one Thursday night. The way we've structured it is we're going to do, tonight is going to be the what you need to do before you start selling in Mexico. So what we'll start with is we're going to have a video talking a little bit about exporting. We're going to talk about what's going to happen over the next 3 days for the CEO tour. We have a special guest, Juan Herrera, which I'll introduce a little bit later, who will be speaking, and then Fidel Gutierrez, another gentleman who's here that will be speaking on a subject. And then tomorrow, we're going to talk about, okay, now that you know what you need to do before you start selling, how to sell in Mexico. So we have 4 guest speakers who'll be speaking about the different things about selling in Mexico, how to find distributors in Mexico, an ad agency, and then the Vice President of International from 5 Hour Energy will be here also to speak. And then on Thursday, we're going to talk about now that you've landed your first client, you sold, then what do you do next? And we're going to talk about logistics, and do you want to sell to Mexico or sell in Mexico? And we're going to talk a little bit about credit insurance and the import tank. So that's pretty much what it's going to be about. We'll go a little bit more in detail. But what I wanted to do is show you a video real quick. That is, we include in all our information. It's on our website. We think it's really well. It says, where will your next customer come from? We don't have speakers, so it's going off of this, so it's a little.
That's why for the first time, the United States of America is launching a single, comprehensive strategy to promote American export. It's called the National Export Initiative. It's an ambitious effort to partnership with full resources of the United States government by American businesses to sell their goods and services abroad. Here are just a few advantages of export. Increased sales and profits. U.S. competitive edge for high quality innovative goods and services. Increased purchasing power resulting from declining exchange rates. Reduction in trade tariffs. Now's the time to consider exporting or moving into additional foreign markets. And you don't have to go it alone.
Where I turned to, I went back to the SBA, and there was a document on how to export, and we started learning about the process of exporting. So we started advertising, and at the time there was the Department of Commerce would put out these publications that would get all the embassies across the world. You pay a little bit of money, you get a picture of your product, and we'll quote in there about where it is, and who to write to about more information. We were flooded with inquiries.
The U.S. Small Business Administration provides counseling, training, and financing programs to help you start, grow, and succeed in export. Other U.S. government agencies will help you identify business opportunities and market your products or services overseas. Trade professionals working directly with small businesses have expertise across every major industry sector and every key global market. Customized business solutions maximize return on trade investment. The government also provides credit insurance on foreign accounts receivables, financing for U.S. companies' foreign market development costs, and transactional working capital. For more information on how SBA and our government partners can help you take your business global, go to www.sba.gov or www.export.gov or call 1-800-USA-TRADE.
Our government helps us export from U.S. into Mexico. There's going to be someone who's going to talk a lot more about that than I can, and he's here in the Guadalajara office. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what's coming the next 3 days, a little bit about ONTAD, which we've done this to wrap around the ONTAD show, and what to expect in the next 3 days. A little bit about the economic indicators. You can see their GDP, much higher in 2010, but still at a steady growth of 3.5. Inflation, tourism growth, and the exchange rate, which is something we battle all the time, has done very well. We consider it very low right now at 12.68. Optimism in Mexico, consumer confidence index, a 9% increase in overall confidence, which is very good. 19% increase view of the economy versus 12 months ago, and a 15% in expectations of the economy for tomorrow. Issues from abroad, things that you wouldn't think affect the business of Mexico are what's happening in Europe. When Greece had their crisis, it affected us with the peso, and which is in turn when you're buying in U.S. dollars, selling in peso. So that's something that we keep it. And then the U.S., when there was the fiscal cliff and deficit, actually helped Mexico because the peso got stronger against the dollar during those times. This is, we borrow a lot of this from Antad and Usada, so they're talking about Antad and the supermarket business, Auto Servicio. These are the investments that the Auto Servicio industry in Mexico is going to make at $4 billion, 9% growth in retail space. Other key sectors, construction, IT, service, supply chain is becoming more efficient and deeper in Mexico. Driven by retail investment focused on store remodeling, technology, best practices, better in-store operations. We're doing a store tour tomorrow, and you're going to visit all the different locations here in Guadalajara, and you'll see what we're talking about with store remodels. U.S. versus Mexican, modern trade, 50% of all business. What does that mean? You're used to in the U.S. mostly large supermarket chains. Here, 50% of it's still mom and pop stores, and 50% is the trade. Increased penetration, increase in consumer sophistication, and retailers are becoming more efficient targeting and researching consumers. Informal versus formal, that's what we're talking about. Almost 10 years ago was 66% small mom and pops, 33% chains. You can see now, not exactly 50-50, but 45-55, where the chains are now getting more of the business, but still a big part of that is the small mom and pops. And if I think the number, it's about 700,000 small mom and pop stores. Understanding the Mexican consumer, 50% of the is actually at 27 and a half years old, between 18 and 55 years old, which is the most active economic part of the money they have. Older people, and then under 12 years old. Purchasing power getting stronger, minimum wage, 4.2% increase, labor reform increase in purchasing power. 27% of all the population has 76% of the purchasing power. A little bit about the income distribution, where we talk a lot when we bring a new brand into Mexico. We like to stay in this part right here, which is medium, lower medium class is the products we look at doing, but there's a lot of our clients that actually play in this field here, or even up here in this field. Types of retailers, the same, it's broken out. The retailers, they go to high-end gourmet, which is on the high end, medium and low is in this field here. Okay. Go back one more. Oh. So this is convenience stores and small retail shops, the same. As you can see, it still goes, the stores are gone through how the population is and the economy of the population. What is ANTAD? A lot of people ask, what does that mean? It's a National Association of Retail Outlets. There's 36 supermarket chains, 70 department store chains, and 47 specialty stores. So it would be like a FMI or a NACS in the U.S., where they come together, and this is their annual convention. But during the year, they have seminars, and they're doing things to increase this business. Who's part of retailers? This is just a small list. We left off Soriana, but of course they're there. Walmart, Soriana, Casalé, Comercio Mexicana, a lot of the chains that you know here in Mexico are part of ANTAD. What is Expo ANTAD? That's the retail association that organizes the largest retail trade show in Latin America. So if you're here at the booths, you'll meet people from Brazil, from Guatemala, from a lot of different places in Latin America, and of course here in Mexico. And then probably the last 4 or 5 years, a lot of U.S. companies are coming here. They're looking for that next product to bring back to the U.S. So you'll see a lot of U.S. buyers here. Almost 1,800 exhibitors and 35,000 visitors came to the show last year. It's a big, gigantic, awesome show. We're going to be right here. We're in what's called the Musada area, or the USA Pavilion. So there's a US Pavilion, and then Musada, which is the Western United States for buyers. That's where we'll be. And then our company has 2 other booths back over here. But it's a awesome show. It'll probably take you 2 days to walk the whole thing, which we'll recommend that you do to see all the booths that are there. So a little bit of the CEO tour. We started in beautiful San Diego. So those of you who missed San Diego, it was wonderful. We had lunch at the Hotel Del Coronado overlooking the ocean, and then we had a nice dinner. We talked a little bit about new clients, will their products sell in Mexico? So we went over a lot of different things. People are always worried about if their product's going to sell. So we had examples of one of my mentors, one of the first people I met when I started 14 years ago. They brought a little styrofoam cup of noodles called Maruchan noodles, and they brought it into Mexico. And the first year, they couldn't give it away. And they got it with the USADA program and did marketing and advertising. And has since, if you travel anywhere around Mexico, it's a hit. They do almost 40 containers a day in that product. And so no one knew what it was, and it's worked tremendously. The other one that I met a few months ago, two young men from Washington State, and they were at the tour, and they were selling pumpkins. They were little baby pumpkins, not even to eat, but they were shellacked for decorations. And they were here in Mexico, and they launched, and they had truckload orders. So you could sell pumpkins, you could sell just about anything. The other one was, we do a lot of store tours in Tijuana. We brought a broker down into Costco, and we were walking around, and he was amazed. We went to go look at these baby cupcakes, these little mini cupcakes. And when he turned them, they were from Canada. So they had to come 3,000 miles from Canada, imported into Tijuana. And Costco has a big bakery, so we couldn't figure out why they're not making their own cupcakes, but they were selling quite a few of them. So those are kind of things that we went over, and we talked about how their product would market and the type of distribution that they do. We had a nice dinner also, and then today we flew from Tijuana here to Guadalajara. We're doing the first seminar tonight, welcome everyone, and then we're also going to have two more presentations as we talked about. Next slide. Tomorrow morning, those of you who'd like to join us, we're going on a store tour. It's going to be about 3 hours. We're going to visit about 9 different locations here in Guadalajara, from an OXXO to a 7-Eleven to a Walmart, Superama, Home Depots. We're going to go to Centro de Abastos, and we're going to end up at our distribution center that we have here in Guadalajara. And then we'll have lunch. So we have a limo bus for those of you who'd like to come join us. It'll be a good tour, and with all of our things that we're looking at, it'll be interesting to see what we pick up that we might have missed before. Then the show starts at 1 o'clock. We do have appointments for some of the CEOs here. There's about 6 companies that we already have appointments for them. So buyers from Home Depot to Benavides, Farmacia Benavides, Walmart, and so you're actually going to be working, so you're going to have to be there. We do have translators for you, and then we have appointments set. So for the next 3 days, we'll have appointments set for you on all those. And then same thing on Thursday, appointments and walking the show. What we find is we learn a lot more walking the show, seeing something that's competitive at what we do, ask questions, and 2 things happen. Either you learn a lot, or they might end up being your distributor. And so that's worked very well for us. Main objectives: promote your product, maximize product visibility, conduct meetings with buyers and visitors, and strengthen relationships. I told all the CEOs, your big thing here is you don't come to think you're going to take a purchase order. You're here to start a relationship with the buyers, get to know them, let them know what you're doing, and it's a follow-up process to get to where you want to be with the buyer. So strengthening relationships is the big. Tips for the show. We took this from Montad. If you want to learn a couple words in Spanish, hola, mucho gusto, hi, nice to meet you, shake hands. When concluding the meeting, say gracias. We've asked everyone to wear business attire, no shirts and no jeans, but you guys are CEOs, you can do whatever you want, but that's what we recommend. Bring business cards with your name, and if you have someone who's going to follow up, bring their business card. Bring brochures. Last night late, we were some from English to Spanish, so we got it all done, so everyone should have Spanish brochures now. And then we're going to give you a badge to get in the show. Don't lose it, don't leave it somewhere, because believe it or not, they check your ID when you walk in and out of the show, so they're pretty strict. So if you do lose the badge, call one of us, we'll have to come get you from outside, but they're pretty strict about the badge. Preparing, set priorities. We've already set the priorities for you, so we have your meeting set up for you with the buyers, but if there's something that you want to do, you want someone you want to see, let's set the priority, we'll set the appointment for you. The Define show objectives, identify visitors, participate in conference program. There's this one. There's other conferences. Unfortunately, they're in Spanish, so if you don't understand the Spanish, it can be a little bit difficult, but there's some cool things that they talk about at some of the seminars. We're going to do all ours in English, but some of the ones there they're all in Spanish. Here's the big thing. Find out the opinion of your customers. When you're there talking to them and you show your PowerPoint presentation, stop and ask them what they're looking for in a product. And that's what we found is the most important thing, is that when we get feedback from them, if you just change a little thing or a size or something, it's all the difference in the world. So try not to be too cocky, just listen to what they have to say, get all the feedback, and if it's something you can change, great. If it's not, then you can tell them at a second point. But we have found that this is the biggest thing when we're talking to buyers, is get their opinion and see what they say, and ask all of them, ask all the buyers that you're doing. Bring pricing, we've talked about that. Some of you are not ready to do pricing because you're not at that point yet. You don't know what all the duties and everything is. He's going to ask for pricing. That's what buyers do. So don't be rude and say, hey, I can't give you the pricing. But what you can do is say, we're in an exploratory meeting here. This is our price, FOB, truckload at your plant. So if he wants to really give you a purchase order, take it. But what's probably going to happen, he's going to want to wait. They order by the pallet. They're going to need to import it. So all those things will come later. But if they do really want to place an order, take it, FOB, your plant. Establish relationships, and as I said earlier, visit the entire show. Go walk the whole show. Go learn, go see interesting things. You're going to learn a lot and see what's there. And that's it. So thank you very much. Gracias for that. Does anyone have any questions on this? I'm going to come back up and talk about some other things, but any questions on the show? Everyone's going to be great. They're going to be fine. And so most of the CEOs here, they have a translator. So the translator will be with you the whole day. So if you have a question, they'll be right next to you. They can ask a question. They'll be with you on the store tour and throughout the show asking questions that